I didn't ask anyone to come up to me. I'm not pushing anyone away. I'm just a guy standing on a box at a festival. Every single person who's come up to me has come up to me of their own free will. I don't have a chain around anyone's foot. I don't have a chain around anyone's foot. I'm not pushing myself on anyone. But Jesus said to his disciples, what you have heard whispered in the ear, proclaim from the housetop. That's what I want to do. Jesus said, no, he didn't. That's nowhere in the Bible. Show me that Bible verse and I'll pack up and go home. Jesus said, go into the highways and byways and hedges and compel them to come in, that my Father's house might be filled. The book of Isaiah says, cry aloud, spare not, lift up your voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgressions, and the house of Jacob their sin. The Bible tells us to go and speak loudly like a trumpet and tell people what their sins are against God, so that they would turn from them. Turn, for why should you die? That's a good message. That's your message for today, folks. Do we have any good theological questions? Any theological questions? I'm taking questions from heterosexuals, and atheists are at the top of my list. So if you're a heterosexual atheist or a heterosexual drunkard, you are at the top of the list, and I will take your questions first. Yes. What is your question?
When you get done, like, here, can I have your pen? No, I wanted it.
Nope. I had them custom made. You can obey it though. She's asking to get my pin. You can obey it though. You can take a picture of it and then obey it. It has to be a theological question. Is it a theological question?
Alright, what? I was curious why the good Lord put the herb on this earth.
Well, if you're talking about marijuana, is that what you're talking about?
Yes, sir.
Well, marijuana is called weed. It's called weed. It's one of the nicknames for marijuana. Well, they call marijuana weed. It's like a nickname for it. The weeds, when after day 6 of creation, when God called it all good, weeds didn't exist. It wasn't until after the creation week, where God called everything good, that when Adam and Eve sinned, that's when thorns and thistles and weeds came into the creation, and it was actually an aberration of what God's good creation was. Now, if you have glaucoma, there are benefits to the use of hemp. Like, you could use hemp to make rope and clothing and all. If you have glaucoma, if somebody has glaucoma, that's fine. Medicinal, it has a medicinal purpose. But someone your age typically isn't using marijuana to cure glaucoma, the pressure of glaucoma. They just want to get dazed and confused. But the Bible says to be sober-minded. You can't be sober-minded when you're dazed and confused on the wacky tobacco. And the Bible says that sorcerers will earn their part in the lake of fire. And in the book of Revelation, that Greek word for sorcerer was the word pharmakia. And a sorcerer isn't like a Harry Potter or a Gandalf or something like that. The sorcerer of that time was someone who would make mind-altering potions and use drugs and mind-altering potions. That was pharmakia. That's where we get the word pharmacy, pharmaceuticals. So Jesus said, love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength. You can't. It depends on what you're speaking on. I don't have a medical degree, so I'm out here to answer theological questions, not medical science questions. I haven't been to med school, so that's not my area of expertise. Go find a booth. Maybe a physician has a booth out here. Maybe you could go ask him. Anyone have a theological question? Yes, you and then you. Go ahead.
I was just asking, what are you planning to do here?
What am I planning to do here is this question. That's a good question. Am I being too subtle? Am I being too subtle? That's the problem. I mean, I got a 12-foot tall banner. I've got a Jesus shirt and buttons, and I apologize for being too subtle. But my goal out here today, I got you next. But my goal out here today is to proclaim the goodness and the severity of God. And my job is not to save anyone. My job is just to tell you about the goodness and the severity of God. That's what Romans 11:22 says. Therefore, consider the goodness and the severity of God, and people can accept it or reject it. But your blood won't be upon my hands on Judgment Day. Because I asked, yes, young lady in the blue shirt, what was your question?
You're here to yell at me. What you just
What's that?
Why'd you have your hand up?
My hand needed Jesus.
Your hand, you didn't have a question? Oh, okay. Anyone else have a good theological question?
What is he talking about?
I don't know. Anyone have a theological question? Well, and here's my message to you today. You can ask me any theological question you like, and when I will give you an answer. And what I want you to do is not believe my answer. Don't believe my answer. Go home and read the Bible for yourself and see if what I was saying was true or
Jesus
false.
wouldn't sit on the things. Thank you.
Who's got a theological question?
Why are you arguing with him? Why can't you just walk away?
Yeah, why are you yelling at me if I shouldn't be yelling at people? Yes, what? Do I have what? Yeah, just 1 second. Here's a gospel tract. Here's a free gospel tract that has enough information to know about Jesus Christ, the Lord of the Bible, that you could actually change your eternal destiny. There's enough information on this gospel tract about Jesus Christ.
There's one way to change your
What about it?
destiny.
That you could actually change your eternal destiny just by the information. Anyone want a free gospel tract that'll give you enough information about the one who created the universe and will be your judge on Judgment Day?